Hey, what's up, Sales Ascender and FlowChat fam? We're coming at you from Austin, Texas today, and we're going to get into testimonials. All right, for this conversation, we're always talking with real people to get real results. And on the front lines, when it comes to testimonials and building know, like, and trust, reducing retention or increasing retention, decreasing attrition, these are the masters. And we have fellow sales ascenders and other FlowChat family members hanging out with us today. I'd like you to meet them because you got to hear what they have to say. Hey, Brodie, Cory, how's it going today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We're on the road today. How about you?
Hey, I'm not, but thanks for having us on.
Yes, you just got. We're actually. I know in our chat you just went on this like month-long extravaganza. Where did you guys end up going?
Yeah, so we drove from Arizona all the way to Florida and back. So basically cut right down the middle of the United States and then came down the south part of the United States on the way home. So about 4 weeks in an RV with 5 kids and a dog. So it is. I
was gonna say there's a small but big detail about how you traveled and an animal, and you're still smiling. So that's awesome. Brodie, let everyone know where you're located as well.
I am coming at you from Boise, Idaho area. So
there we go. Idaho. Lot of tech talent up in Boise. I like it. Yeah. Well, hey, for everyone listening today, business owners, sales and marketing professionals, something that we all face and we struggle with is building know, like, and trust. And in our companies, we have those moments. We all know what those are. Those moments of glory where somebody's happy, they get it, they connect with our community, they connect with our product and service. And you guys do multiple things, but I'd like to start in the specific area of, in those moments, how do we capture that moment and how do we leverage and redistribute that moment to further grow our businesses?
Yeah, so one thing I'd say is I'm glad you brought up the know, like, and trust, because the world is evolving from know, like, and trust to leveraging reviews and testimonials, and hence we're kind of talking today about this. Is the know, like, and trust element has shifted a bit to where that know, like, and trust can actually come from somebody you actually don't know, but you can trust, and that's through the reviews and testimonials. And that is, if you look at the last year and a half with COVID, if it's done anything, it is accelerated e-commerce growth, which comes with testimonials and it comes with reviews and it comes with social proof and it comes with all of those things that were a nice to have. Now they are a need to have. Bottom line.
So what's fun about everything you just said is everyone listening, watching this right now, let's just go to Amazon for a second.
Exactly.
And let's walk through that purchase.
Yeah.
What's the last purchase you made, last 2-3 purchases you made, and how many of those were done without even at least glancing at a review? Probably a high percentage of 0. Would you say that's the case?
Yeah, and I would say I'll start off with a story to kind of set the tone of kind of where the reason why Brodie first built the business, revenue jump, and kind of his intentions, and I'll give you kind of a visualization before we kind of go deep into automating collection of testimonials and reviews. Okay, so 15 years ago, give or take, Guitar Hero came out, had to have it, right? My nephew had it, had to have it. I was what would be considered a broke early adopter. So drive 2 hours one way to pick it up, pay double price for it, to drive back 2 hours to just be like, I have it. Now I can just rip amazing chords on my Xbox, right? Fast forward 15 years from now, I'm standing in Walgreens and I'm looking at COVID's in its height, and I'm looking at 2 thermometers and I'm like, well, which one do I buy? They're the same price. And I'm Googling them. I'm literally looking them up and reading their reviews online before I buy them. I've now become a pragmatic buyer. And that is how that world has started to shift. Is you look at, when you go to restaurants, Open Table, you read the reviews. They suck at the food. Is it good food? Is it not good food? Right? All those local type places you go, plumbers, restaurants, all of that type of stuff. You look at reviews now.
It's all review driven. Now, getting those reviews though is kind of a pain sometimes. So how do you guys overcome that challenge for a business?
Yeah, it can be for sure. And for a couple of reasons. One is it's not always something most people are comfortable with. It's like asking for a referral. When do you ask for it? Pre, post, during, all that kind of good stuff. So, but Brodie has basically done is he's worked in the 10 plus years, over the last 10 plus years, he has specifically been in reputation management, working with customers that have struggled with this. And so what he basically said was there's an area to solve, and all the other solutions are way too expensive for what people really just need to do in all simplicity. And that is just simplify the collection automatically with leveraging integrations with other email marketing platforms, or just strictly being able to trigger a message that says, hey, tell us how we did, or tell us how we did, yes or no, and then drop in a review, that kind of thing. And you just made it super simple. And I know Brodie probably has something to add here.
Yeah, I mean, that what you just ended on is keep it super simple. I mean, the easier that you make it for your customers to give you a testimonial or review or referral, the more likely they're going to complete that process. And so that was our goal from the get-go, is just try to make it as simple as possible for the customer to leave a review, make it as convenient as possible.
Brodie, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Because two things I want to share real quick. One is, we've all had those experiences. I'm recalling one that happened to me yesterday where I got through using something. I was like, and it asked me for a review. Essentially, I was like, like, I don't have time for this. Like, it's so annoying. Like, everyone's always asking for reviews. It's like, So there's that user experience, right? But the second piece of that is a well-timed and a simple process is, it's like, oh yeah, no problem, right? Click, here's what I think and feel, and done. And so I'm also the same user that has that type of experience. From your perspective, how do you keep it simple? Where does that live in the buying process or the customer journey?
So that changes depending on what business that you're in. And so just like Cory has a story about Guitar Hero and looking at reviews. I mean, I bought a piano and I drove by like 2 piano shops to get to the piano shop that had good reviews so I can make that purchase. And so you just make it, if you can make the survey and the process for them to leave you a review or a testimonial easy, then they'll go out of the way, even if it's not easy, to make a purchase from you. And so it's just a matter of timing it right. And so, like, if we go back to the piano example, the happiest that I'm going to be is when the piano is sitting in my home and my kids are playing on it and playing around with it, right? And so if you could time it just right, depending on what business you're in, you'll have that that energy and enthusiasm from your customers in order to take that next step. We all get asked for reviews and testimonials and feedback nowadays. But you got to make it easy, and like you said, you just got to time it right.
Time it right. So what I'm hearing as far as takeaways is, number one, look for through your customer journey. Find that moment where somebody's the most excited, the most enthusiastic, and passionate about your product or service. And something else that I kind of heard you saying is, for that moment, like for the marketing and the sales department, let them know what that moment generally is, so they can start foreshadowing that in the sales. Hey, when you first get your piano, you're probably going to feel like, you're probably going to experience or notice a moment when your family, you all come together and you're playing. When that happens, please don't forget it. You can start prefacing that sale essentially. So the really, really powerful stuff you guys are sharing today. Now, let's do this. Let's keep moving forward in this experience, because once we get somebody to leave a review, it doesn't necessarily mean we want to use the review. So what when we're using like, how do we got all this content now, we got all of these reviews, how do we decipher which ones to use and which ones not to use?
Well, from a testimonial standpoint, I'll answer that, and I'll let Brodie answer the review piece of the pie. But as far as the collection piece of the pie is concerned, once we collect a testimonial, it all goes into Revenue Jump. Revenue Jump at that point in time, you're going to showcase testimonials different than you showcase reviews, just for context. Testimonial is really just, again, feedback, pure and simple. So we automate the collection of that feedback. That doesn't have to be existing customers, by the way. It could be anybody. You had a phone call with somebody and you send them and ask them, hey, how we do, right? Once you collect it, all of it comes into Revenue Jump, and you have the ability to showcase that through what we call a widget, which is basically a pop-up that gets dropped on your website, where it just showcases all of the awesome things people want to say about you. And that's how we showcase the testimonials, but you choose to turn on and off that widget, or to include it or not include it. You have full control over that. In addition, you have the ability to say, hey, is the grammar not exactly where it needs to be? Is there a spelling error? And you have the ability to kind of clean that up a little bit to keep the integrity of the testimonial, but just not make the individual necessarily look bad based on some of that. And so that's how we leverage the testimonial piece, is very, very simply collect, showcase, but you do have some control over what you actually want to showcase. I'd also give another example is, like, you have a specific product you're wanting to showcase for the month. Well, you could go through and showcase any of the testimonials that are specific to that product to try to lead to the goal. So there's some creative and strategic things that you can do with testimonials. With reviews, I'll let kind of Brodie kind of run that piece of the pie, so I'm not the only one talking the whole time.
I love your voice, Cory. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, so on the reviews, I'm going to just go out there and admit it. We allow our users to gate reviews. Okay, I'm not hiding from that fact, but we give them the power to turn it on or off. They can turn the gating on or turn it off. And what that means is that if the customer is not happy, you can choose to either ask them for feedback and find out why they're not happy so that you can improve your business and improve your systems, or you can just send them on to Google, Yelp, Facebook, or wherever that you need those reviews. And so I'm okay with gating. I understand why people are not, but like businesses get a bad rap. It's a lot easier to get a bad review than a good review. And so I just view gating reviews as leveling the playing field, giving the business opportunity to improve itself, because there's nothing worse than finding out you did a bad job on Google or somewhere public, right? You want to keep that private so that you can improve your system.
Yeah, and Brodie, I'd like to hang here just for a second, because you're using the phrase gating, and I would assume most people know exactly what you mean when you say that, but it seems that that's kind of a more controversial thing. Like, is it good to only put good reviews forward? Or as a business, and I'm asking this, I'm pausing here for a second, specifically for business owners to really kind of consider this piece of their business. Should they only put good reviews out there? Should they include all reviews, or should they include good with maybe some bad that are honest and maybe not the best? It's not the highlight reel, but it's honest. What's your take on how to approach that?
Negative reviews are inevitable, and so the only thing that we're trying to accomplish with the revenue jump is level the playing field and have a conversation online that's balanced. Any business that's doing any significant amount of business is going to get negative reviews. But you can turn negative reviews into a positive. And so one of the features that we have in Revenue Jump is the review monitoring. So we'll go out and monitor your reviews on different websites and compile them into Revenue Jump.
Interesting.
And then we provide alerts if you get negative reviews. And the thing that I suggest,
outside of revenuejump.com, like on other sites, it's like scraping the internet, so to speak, looking for so if it was FlowChat, for example, like you could see people leaving FlowChat reviews on different sites.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome.
And then negative reviews, you can actually turn into positive reviews. I'm sure we've all had customers where things just didn't go quite right. And when you fix that situation and you fix that problem, then they become like a glowing, happy
100%.
customer. And so you can reply to reviews online. You should reply to every review. If it's a positive review, say thank you. If it's a negative review, say, hey, we're sorry we failed. Like, give us a call. We'll try to fix it. Never point the finger, hey, you're the bad guy, but just make it an opportunity so that when somebody does read that negative review, they see how you handled it as an adult. And they know that not every business is perfect, but this one is trying to be.
I love it. I appreciate that approach and you sharing that, because how many different products and services have we as customers purchased and been a part of? And if it goes wrong, it's not necessarily the end of the world, but if they just disappear and do nothing, then it's a friggin' problem. So I appreciate your honest approach and putting that both messages forward, and then being able to have that conversation and build the relationship with the market and the customer. So, okay, this is really important. So we've talked about how do we actually collect and get the reviews, the testimonials. You talked about the difference between the two. We've talked about best practices, essentially. And then, you've kind of started to allude into this, there's like so tied in here, this three video today. But over this way, in the third bucket, is a feature set, essentially. And so I'd like to spend some time on, hey, in the marketplace right now, your best customers, what features, processes, approaches, strategies, what's the hot, cool stuff on the front lines that people are really eating up and getting favorable results with right now?
And so let me be high level real quick, Cory, and I'll let you dive into it. So high level, our target market is partners that have clients, agency clients, gurus, coaches, and the next level is like if they have some sort of software they utilize, like Active Campaign, Infusionsoft, or what other software, right, that they can automate Revenue Jump with. So I'll let Cory dive in deeper.
Awesome.
Yeah. So to give you some context, Revenue Jump built for, I think, 4+ years now. Brodie's been just growing it and growing it. And we tried to pivot a year ago to work with partners more intentional. And so what we've done is we completely changed the pricing. We built out an entirely brand new area for partners to actually manage their customers on Revenue Jump. But what the partners are leveraging is our pricing is broken down in very simply, which is a low jump and a high jump plan, which is automation of a collection of testimonials, and then the automation of and collection of reviews, as well as competitor tracking, a bunch of other stuff. But what our partners are doing and what they're leveraging is they're leveraging the low jump plan to actually generate to do the automation and collection of testimonials, but they're using it to generate a customer base. Because the way that we have priced it allows them to actually go out, offer it for super inexpensive or even free in many scenarios, where they could actually give it to the customer. A customer then gets onboarded with automating the testimonials, falls in love with how easy it is, leverages the widget, pops it up on the website. So many glorious things are being said about them. And then they look down in the bottom right and they're like, oh, my competitors are destroying me in reviews. I should probably do reviews. And boom, there's the upsell, and the customer then moves to our high jump plan. And now they start accelerating their social proof via reviews. And that's how our partners have been really doing it. Is we've set up the product to be, again, super easy to use, super easy to implement, and super easy to launch. And we've kept the price way down, and that's very intentional. What you need to do and accomplish doesn't need to be thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But it can bring you thousands.
Maybe $99, right?
Maybe $99.
Having the right tools and having repeatable and scalable systems is huge, and Revenue Jump is a huge part of that tech stack and that equation for your business, you watching and listening to this. And we're just getting started with Revenue Jump as well. Hey, when we're finding powerful tools in the marketplace, we're going through the process of vetting them ourselves, but we want to share these with other like-minded entrepreneurs, business owners, sales and marketing professionals, because why not? The journey of entrepreneurship, we'll say, Brodie and Cory on here, is entrepreneurship can be really lonely, but it doesn't have to be lonely. And so this is kind of a space where we all get to rally together, network together. And that being said, you guys leaning into this conversation right now, check out revenuejump.com. Is that the best place for everyone to go if they're wanting more and want to learn more about this?
Yes. And I would also give you my email address is cs@revenuejump.com. So you can always reach out to me directly. Feel free to kind of walk you through all the demo, as well as to go over your business strategically and see if it makes sense, if it's a fit, and if we think we can drive revenue together through that, right? That's kind of the idea. So
yeah,
cs@revenuejump.com for the personal reach out. And Brodie?
Yeah, and that's very important, is that we need to make money together, otherwise it wouldn't make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we only charge $99 for you to have unlimited number of low jump accounts for your clients. If you have 1,000 clients, it only costs you $99 as a partner.
Yep,
it's crazy.
And then inside, like Cory alluded to earlier, we have inside the app
ideas.
Yeah,
keep going. Sorry.
When we started rebuilding this a year ago, we did this with the partners in mind. All right, what would be good for our partners? What would be good for our partners? And we kept asking that over and over and over again. And so, like, the $99 you can charge for those low jump accounts, like Cory said, you can give them away for free as a tripwire. And inside the app are built-in upsells so that they would want to get to the high jump account. And so so as a partner, you would get email notifications. Hey, ABC company's interested in high jump. You might want to upsell them. And you can charge them more money.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we do charge for the high jump accounts. We charge the partner, but it's still.
I hope so. You got to charge something.
We make money, but
Cory's got five, kids in a yeah. I don't know what your kid count is, Brodie, but
I only have 4, so
only have 4. Mike, okay, I'm the caboose here with 3 apparently.
Yeah, almost catching up.
Well, hey, as we kind of wrap up today, I appreciate you guys the insights that you guys are sharing and the different strategies that you're sharing. Hopefully, everyone caught what just took place here just seconds ago, where you're saying, "Hey, here's kind of our model, but here's kind of how you can leverage the model." But as we wrap up, the one question, the final question I'd like to ask anyone that comes on the show is more of a personal question. It goes to more why you're doing what you're doing, and here's what I mean. To be a business owner, to be an artist, to be a musician, to be an actor, an athlete, that high performer that puts themselves out there, it's a vulnerable place. And so the question is why? I'm always fascinated by the people that, like myself, that continue to put themselves out there and, in harm's way a lot of times. You face a lot of different rejection. It takes a certain individual to push through and grow through all that. So I'd like to hear from both of you. And Brodie, maybe you can start us off. What is your why? Why do revenue jump? Why put yourself out there in this way?
I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I have been since I started my first business when I was 13 years old. I made wooden shelves. I rented a space at a craft mall at age 13. I don't know how I got the lease, but I set up my booth and I sold wooden shelves that I made. So I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. And so that's my passion. And over the years, as I've been working with clients, like there's Google, there's Yelp, and these businesses are getting hammered, I think, in an unfair way. So particularly about Revenue Jump, that's why I started Revenue Jump. I wanted to level the playing field and give them a way that they had a fighting chance against the negativity that was going on.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And Cory, how about for yourself?
I consider myself a fakepreneur.
I haven't heard that one yet, actually. Continue.
Yeah, to me, my dad owned his own business, so entrepreneurship is in our blood. And I technically have two other businesses in addition to the one that I'm with, Brodie, and then I have a full-time gig as well. The reason why I say fakepreneurship is because I haven't made the leap and do it full bore without having this safety net of, like my full gig of an employer. So while I do consulting on the side, while I make, 5 different flavors of bacon, while I, help run partnerships at Revenue Jump, I haven't fully committed. So I don't consider myself an entrepreneur, although in every single thing that I've ever done, I've always looked at the entrepreneur side of it to, in sales. I always found a way to generate my own leads and went out and hunted with that same mentality of survival. But I can't claim to be an entrepreneur until I make that full leap. So until then, I over the last 14 years, that's what I've done is I've worked with agencies. I've worked with entrepreneurs. And so, yeah.
So the space well. Well, hey, no, I appreciate the honesty, and there's definitely that entrepreneurial spirit. So in you, being that you're like, well, I got this going, I've got this, and if someone gets to know you more, they'll see that you're like you have a good understanding of what your skill set is, and you found different ways to essentially serve the market, serve companies, and monetize that. So, hey. Brodie, Cory, I appreciate you both coming on. And thank you, Sales Ascender and FlowChat fam, for watching this. We'll be back next week. As you know, same place, same time. Don't do this alone. Come listen to real people that are getting real results and get the same results for yourself in your business and your journey. And again, guys, any last words you want to share?
No, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
cool.
Really appreciate it. If there's any way that we can just help, just contact us. Let us know.
No.
Reach out. All right. Hey, appreciate you both. And we'll see you guys next time.